Welcome to the Urban Originals Podcast. This isn't a show about trends. It's not about being loud, viral, or keeping up with whatever's hot this week. This is a space for people who are building real lives, real careers, and real influence inside cities. Quietly, intentionally, over time. I call them Urban Originals. They're not always the most visible people in the room. They're the planners, engineers, operators, creatives, public servants, founders, and professionals who actually make cities work. If you care more about where your career is going than what's trending, this podcast is probably for you. I wanted to start this podcast because I felt the gap. There's a lot of content about music, sports, dating, and lifestyle. And that stuff has its place, but there isn't much space for grounded conversation about careers, money, systems, and how cities actually work, especially for people in their late 20s through 40s who are trying to build something solid. Not flashy, not performative, just solid. Before we go any further, I'll give you a little context on who I am and why I'm doing this. I currently work inside complex systems. I spend a lot of my time thinking about how projects move, how decisions get made, and how people navigate institutions. Right now, I'm also in engineering school. So this season of learning, questioning, and sharpening how I think about cities, infrastructures, and the systems that quietly shape everyday life. I'm not recording this from a place of having everything figured out. I'm recording this from inside the process. That's very important to say. This podcast is part reflection, part documentation, and part personal project for me. It's a place to think out loud about what I'm seeing, what I'm learning, and what I'm still trying to understand. I want to be able to look back at these episodes and hear how my thinking evolved, what I believe, what I misunderstood, and what changed. Cities are where everything intersects. Culture, opportunity, money, identity. Cities reward people who understand systems, timing, and relationships. Not just talent, not just hustle. And most of us are never taught how any of that actually works. We just move through cities hoping things work out, hoping the right doors open, hoping the right people notice us. But cities don't really move on hope. They move on system. When I bring guests on the show, they're not here to perform. They're here to share perspective, to talk about how things really work in their world, what surprised them, what slowed them down, what people on the outside misunderstood, not highlight reels, real context. People who've had to learn how to move inside cities without shortcuts. This podcast won't be loud, it'll be calm, thoughtful, the kind of conversation you'll have sitting back after a long day, talking about things that actually shape your life. Careers, cities, money, systems. If that resonates with you, you're in the right place. This is the Urban Originals Podcast.